I call this P&G meeting to order. First item of business, approval of the June 16th minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, elect the committee chair. Nominate Paul.
Sounds good.
All right. That's 2 votes right there, so I don't think we have to do anything else. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Paul now as the new chair.
All right. I guess the only 2 things on here are stuff that Les, I believe you're going to cover. So if you just want to start with the first one, that would be good.
Sure. First of all, apologies for maybe the urgency of putting this through. Just a little bit of background. We started the FEMA application back in mid-April, had an initial meeting in late April. And then I get a call last week from another person from Iowa Homeland Security who was doing a risk assessment on our process and our claims. And in reviewing that, required me to submit some policies. And so the 2 policies that FEMA needs or wants to see to expedite and make our claims flow easier are the 2 policy drafts that I've submitted. And, like I said, my urgency was knowing how close you were to getting through the process with all of our series and being able to maybe get these added to that process is the reason why you were seeing those today. I really don't know what happens on the FEMA side if they're not approved, but they're policies that are not bad to have. The conflict of interest, I think that's been in front of the board several times by various board members over the years. And this one just kind of further strengthens that one. And the other one is a fraud related process. And again, that's a good public practice to have in place as well.
And then just, I guess, taking them in order, that first one, is there a section that would fall into with the policies we already have?
Are you asking me, Paul, for suggestion or to your other committee members?
I think we're looking to you. I would assume Sean and Ruthina have the same question as I do.
I would think it would likely fall under maybe the employee section because it's dealing with conflict of interest in employees and the activities they take in terms of purchasing and acquiring of materials and supplies and equipment for the district and other district resources. So I think that would be how we would expect our employees to act and the governance of them.
Paul, we can look at it. I mean, we have some other procurement policies in one of the sections as well that they might fall in line there. And so we can, if the board's supportive of us moving these forward, we can definitely, before we would bring them to the board for a vote, work with Kim to figure out where they would fall in the index and get them numbered and bring them back in that fashion. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah, because I don't assume that the other 2 members, I'm speaking for myself, have a problem with either one of them, I guess, going forward. I mean, unless there's some changes in there, but yeah, if we could just make sure we have them kind of numbered so that they will fall in line with what the other policies we're doing, that'd be great.
Yep, we can do that.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think we need to figure out where we should stick them in the current policy structure, because I think we kind of need them probably before we're done moving everything to the new policy structure. And as I recall, there is conflict of interest that got added in multiple series in the new structure, in the administrator part and the employee part, and maybe another one. So I don't know if this kind of language has to reside in multiple places in the new structure or not, but I guess I was under the impression that we needed to get these approved as policies, whether it gets into the new structure or old structure, at some point. But
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll
I'm
have to
wrong
get them
there.
into the new and old, I think, Sean, you're right. The expediency is around our existing structure. Like Chase said, we can get them slotted into the correct place for that one. And then we can also identify where they need to live in our new policy structure, and that they'll get moved over when we make that transition. But we need these relatively soon. So that was the urgency around doing it tonight and then being able to come back and approve them on the 14th in the meeting.
And the way the board has them, the policies currently lined up, the board does have that section on the website of legally mandated policies. And so if nothing else, we can approve them and slide them in there as another subsection. And then as we work on coming back around, but you're right, Sean, they probably do align with some things we have currently in there. So we'll just review it, see where they fit in, and bring that back to you all with numbers.
And I can certainly present to the Homeland Security person that they have passed out of policy and governance if you so approve them, and that they are going through the next stage of review with our board, and indicate to her that it may not be this August 7th date that, you know, she pushed or was kind of adamant about. I thought that was a little pushy on her perspective, but I think, you know, maybe she'll give us a little leeway if we say it's part of a specified process that the board is undertaking as well.
I think
I think we can get them.
We have them
Okay.
for
Okay.
the 14th to get approved. So I think we just do it in both arenas. I think we just get it in place for our existing structure now, and then like
Okay.
we can identify where it may overlap or where they need to be slotted in the new one. So I don't think the timeline will be problematic, that we can meet that. And I mean, I'm not hearing a lot of resistance from you guys, and I'm, you know, presuming the full board would look at them the same. And so even if we needed to have further question or something, that would give us another meeting on the 28th to come back to them if we had to. So I think we'll be in okay shape, Les.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I would speculate the only feedback that might come in is that it's specifically a conflict of interest in regards to spending federal funds as opposed to general conflict of interest. So I don't know if there'd be pushback there, but I think we just say, you know, it's in conjunction with the other policies that we're already working on that covers everything. So I don't think there'll be a problem, but that might get brought up at some point.
And
Sean, that's kind of what I was thinking about. And oh, sorry, Rathina, I didn't mean to cut you off. Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking about. So we'll go back and look, because, you know, we have the numbers, and so things are like 419.1.2, 0.2, 0.3.4. So we'll find that general conflict of interest policy and just stick it behind there as, you know, if that's something 0.234, we'll add this as 0.5 in that same series, to your point exactly. So it's nested under the more general guidelines we have about conflict of interest or procurement, one of the two. We'll just read them and see where it fits best.
Then, like I said, I don't have any questions on the first one. Of course, obviously that second one has some yellow marks on it that looks like it may need a name or something added to it.
That was simply provided as a sample, but we can certainly get that drafted up into the final format and have it say Iowa City Community School District in the first yellow box. And then the designee is just naming the person that, if there is a fraud, who that has to be reported to. And I guess for all practical purposes, I'd probably say my first blush that would be Chase, but I'll leave that up to the rest of you or the board to make that designee as to how you would want that to occur.
Yeah, we can identify that and update that before the next meeting too, so you guys have some substance there to work from.
All right. Anybody else have any questions on either one of these two policies? Sounds like no. So this may be one of our shortest policy and governance meetings, but the agenda setting on that next one, for the next meeting, it looks like the last time we stopped at 604.7 on the 600 series. I guess that would be where we would pick up. And then if we needed to do anything else with these two policies, which I would assume we won't, but if we need to, those two things on there. Anything else?
I should do it.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Hey,
All right. We'll see you guys at 5 o'clock.
see y'all.